Hi, I welcome you all in the third session of ours. So basically today we would be covering the third chapter of NCERT, that is Kinship, Caste and Class. And this chapter takes the again time period from 600 BCE to 600 CE. Huh? So okay. So in this chapter, one of our major point of study is the social history of the time. And to study the social history, the evidences that we have taken is one of them important evidences Mahabharata, because it talks a lot about kinship, the idea of kinship. From there we can trace the idea of gender or to say caste. So a lot of things are there. So if critical understanding of Mahabharata is very important for any student of history to know the social history of that time. So one of the personality who worked for this critical understanding of Mahabharata or critical writing of Mahabharata was V.S. Sudhankar. So in his he wrote almost 13,000 pages in many volumes. One thing that he found is that there are similarities in Mahabharata if we talk from Kashmir to Kanyakumari or in the whole subcontinent. In the story of Mahabharata, there will be some similarities, but at the same time, there is huge regional variations. There are huge regional variations that is there in Mahabharata. So, one thing that is there is that Mahabharata has been written over the period of time. Even if you see NCERT, then the time period of Mahabharata is that it has been started writing from 500 BCE and it continued for another 1000 BCE. So this is the time period in which additions and subtractions keep on happening in Mahabharata and different sort of things in different places. So again, let's come to some of the terminologies that are important for CUET. Is Kula. Kula is used basically for family. Then Janati, that is larger network of kinfolk. Vamsa, this is lineage. Patrilineal, we all know father to son. Matrilineal, mother to son. So, and what are the types of marriages? So, one is endogamy. Endogamy means getting married within the unit. So unit can be caste. Caste in India, one of the most characteristics of caste is it being endogamous. So and units can be another thing. For example, tribe can be unit can be unit. So endogamy was there. Exogamy. Exogamy means marrying outside the unit. So here you can take example of Gotra. You cannot marry within Gotra. You have to marry outside Gotra, like according to popular narrative and according to Hinduism again. Then there is polygamy. Men having several wives. Then there is polyandry. Women having several husbands. One of the example is obviously Draupadi, which is rare. Then what were the rules of marriage? So Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutras, which are one of the important Brahmanic text to this law for laws and all. So they considered 8 type of marriages. Out of 8 types of marriages, 4 are considered good and 4 are considered which are not good. Then one thing is that again, see, same Gotra marriage is not considered good. And Gotra of women especially used to change after the marriage. So for example, before marriage she used to have the Gotra of her father, but after marriage the Gotra she used to get used to be of her husband. But all the times that things that are written in, let it be say Dharma Shastras or Manu Smriti, was not implemented in the society in a similar fashion. So for example, there are exceptions. For example, Satvahana ruler, if we consider Satvahana rulers. So the wives of Satvahana rulers carry the names of their father. So that was one thing. Or then Satvahana ruler identified by mother name, but throne was patrilineal. So again, One can say that because Satvahana ruler was identified by mother's name, so it meant that things were not patriarchal, but on the another hand, you will see that throne was patrilineal. Then very important thing is that Vedic theory of divine order, or this is written in the Purushukta, or basically 10वें अध्याय में लिखा है. So first thing is Brahmanas. So from where they born? Brahmanas born from the mouth of God, then Kshatriya from the arms, Vaishyas from the thighs, and Shudras from the feet. And the occupation of all these Varnas were also classified according to it. So this was used to prove that because Brahmanas are born from the head of the god, so he will do the work of which requires mind. Kshatriyas are born with this arm, so they will be one who would be warriors. Vaishyas from thighs, so like these people were merchants, will be doing merchants, and Shudras from feet. So the division or the occupation of Shudras was limited to the service of all these three Varnas, eva Varnas. But others obviously can do sacrifices, can get sacrifices done, can read Vedas. Shudras were strictly not allowed to read Vedas. But so according to this Vedic understanding, or if this Vedic understanding would have been implemented, it would have meant that all the kings who ruled in ancient India would have been Kshatriyas. But there are ample evidences that there were so many rulers who were not Kshatriyas, but yet they ruled. One of the main example can be Mauryas. So as far as Brahmanic texts are concerned, Brahmanic texts considered Mauryas as the one of lower origin. Then this Buddhist text considered Mauryas as the Brahmins, Kshatriyas. So that is one thing. Shungas and Kanvas, the immediate successors, were Brahmins. Then the Shakas who came from Central Asia were considered as Malechas, or to say low origin. Yet Shakas from Central Asia were considered as Malechas. But again, if we see, there are Shakas, it was the Shaka rulers who repaired the lake. So it was not like that Shaka's rulers were not getting into folds of Brahmanic fold. Then we have this example of Gautami Puti Sri Satkarni. He was a unique Brahman ruler who considered himself as the destroyer of the pride of Kshatriya. Then another source is Mandsaur pillar inscription. So it is located in MP, and it is important because it mentions of the silk weavers who migrated to Mandsaur, and then they got a new, they came to be known as Daspura. So how people are migrating, and for all this inscription is important. Then there is Mircha Tika, which is a play by Shudraka. So in this text, the important thing is that there is a merchant who is a Brahman. So this type of contradiction used to exist. Then coming to Manu Smriti, one of the considered as the law code of Hinduism. So Manu Smriti idea of caste was obviously very regressive. So it let down the duties for Chandals. Was basically according to Manu Smriti, they should be forced outside the village. They should be given discarded utensils, and should not walk on the roads in the night. Then this is also after, and this was another writers. For example, this was written in Manu Smriti, and the case was also the same. We get the evidence of this from another writer, one of the Chinese writer, Fa Xian. So he told that when he came to India, that while walking through roads, Chandals had to walk, so that people don't see them. Then there is Zhongzhang, who came near in 5th century AC, in 5th century. So basically he argued that how Chandals were living outside the city. And then Manu Smriti again on the wealth of women. So it gives that Manu Smriti, like according to Manu Smriti, women can have the things that she got in the marriage. Someone gave out of affection something, some brother, mother, father, all these people gave something. Only those sort of property a woman can acquire. Hoarding was strictly prohibited. But still, again, we see the contradiction here, in spite of this thing being written in Manu Smriti and Brahmanism being the prevalent mode of idea. Still, we see Prabhavati Gupta. So there is evidence that Prabhavati Gupta is doing land grant, giving land to others. It means that she had the ownership of the land. So that is again there. हो गया भाई ये chapter भी.